Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. I am going to talk to you about a very simple and yet very important topic, and it is all about the way you sit at the piano. You would be surprised how many times I connect to a first lesson with a student online and I immediately see that their positioning is wrong. And I'm talking sometimes about even quite advanced pianists, and we have to go back and kind of really readjust everything, because you will be surprised how much your progress can be impeded by just sitting wrongly. And not to mention that a lot of the technical issues are immediately much harder if you are either too high or too low or too close to the piano. So I'm going to show you a few very wrong setups and also explain to you why it is wrong and what can actually happen if you continue playing like that. Most of you are probably practicing on the same piano with the same setup, so actually you only need to do it once, but do it correctly and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. Obviously, if you then go to play at a center or taking an exam or playing a concert somewhere, please do take a little time before you sit to play. I know people get so nervous, usually in exam scenario. I see it a lot as an examiner. A person comes and they're really stressed out and they just want to start playing. But really do take that moment to readjust your stool, readjust positioning, and making sure that you're comfortable. You may be surprised, it will also settle your nerves and just make the whole environment a little bit more comfortable. So first wrong setup is your stool is too high. It's actually not a highly damaging positioning, because the only really issue with this will be is your own discomfort. You can't actually have a good grip on the keys, so you will kind of end up playing in a bit of a hanged position. That also means that your dynamics are not going to be probably that wide and expressive, because it's hard to play forte when you can barely have that foundation or grip on the keys. But nonetheless, this is the first wrong position, so stool too high. Second wrong position is your stool is too low. This is the most common mistake by far, and particularly if you have a child learning how to play the piano, this is where I see the most. Children are always set too low. And if you're a beginner sitting like this, what can happen is you'll feel like you have to drop your wrists quite a bit. So that's something that I also see quite a lot. Let's say people practice, let me rest. That really produces a very bad habit. Please don't do that. And you may not realize that that habit is mostly invoked by your sitting being too low. What else can happen? Well, obviously, again, the same about strength of your fingers. You don't get to develop any strength because your wrist is tilted down, particularly in children. If you think about it, their hands are only developing, they're still growing, they don't have that much strength. So anything like this can really have a detrimental effect. And lastly, again, dynamics, you will not be able to express any wider range than probably just playing mezzo forte. But the most important knockdown effect of sitting too low, particularly in children, is this kind of wrist positioning that goes low. You are literally sitting on the edge of the piano, you're not really using your wrists much. So please avoid that. And now the most important question: how do I know when my stool is adjusted to the right height? So I'm going to show you a very simple trick that you can use, and that will ensure that wherever you are, whatever stool, whether it's a chair or a proper piano stool, whether it's a grand piano or a normal piano, you will know what to look out for. And it's this angle. So you have to be able to see that your wrist is literally staying on the level of the keys. So I've already showed you that if your sitting is too high, you'll find your wrist being here. If your sitting is too low, you'll find your wrist being here. and resting on the edge of the keys. If your positioning is right, this whole arm is the same length and it's at the level of the keys, and that's the measuring point. So just basically keep adjusting your stool until you find this perfect position. It also enables you to move your elbows, to have the very even approach. It also immediately makes sure that the shape of your hand is half round. It's not flat, it's not too curled in fingers, but it's just really nicely shaped. Like I already mentioned to you, this will really impede your technique if it's done wrongly. So yeah, just always check that it's exactly the same level as the keys. You may find, I find it a lot with like home setups, when I see students online, I'll ask them, okay, if you don't have a proper piano stool, or if it doesn't go high enough or low enough, just grab a normal chair and maybe put some pillows, cushions, or even books. But it is very important that you make sure that you're seated correctly. The very last minor thing I'm going to mention is about sitting too close. That's also wrong, and that's also something that I see a lot of the time. Now, please have a look what happens if I am seated too close. First of all, I don't have any space to use my elbows. I don't have any space to do dynamics. And you can't probably see, but I really am going to struggle pedaling because there's no space underneath the piano. So again, if you are seated correctly, you should be sitting on the edge of the stool, and your back should be slightly bent. So it should not be straight, it definitely should not be tilted backwards, because very soon you will start experiencing a lot of back pains, and this is what will prevent it. Just sitting on the edge of the stool and having your back lean forward slightly. So those are the two things please look out for. Level your wrist with the keys, make sure that your arm is also in a straight line, sitting on the edge of the stool and leaning backwards slightly, and you'll be surprised by how much it will improve your playing. I hope this was helpful. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, let me know if there are any burning topics or something that you're struggling with in your own piano journey. I would love to be able to help you, and thank you so much for being here with me today. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.